Friends, welcome again to this year's Christmas pageant. We're so excited to share the story of Jesus' birth with you, and as Mariah mentioned, we are going to need your help. All of you, the congregation, our friends who are in costumes today, we need your help. We're excited to try something new in this time when we're navigating how to keep all of our children safe and to share this story in a meaningful way. So we have an awesome group of 4th through 6th graders who are going to be our narrators, and they will lead us through the story. They're going to give us all some directions as well. For my friends who picked out costumes this morning, I see some of you down here. I see some of you out. We're so glad that you're here. If you're at home with a costume on, we're glad that you are joining us. Our narrators will invite you up when it's your character's turn. So whatever character you want to be, you come on up. You're going to stand kind of along here on the steps and listen as the narrators tell the story. Parents, guardians, if you want to come up with your child, great. We might have lots of sheep. I don't know if we got any shepherds this year, but that's okay. You all will be participating and helping us out. And so again, you all congregation, everyone watching at home, will be helping with some spoken responses. So listen for the instructions that our narrators will give you. They're going to give you a cue. You can also see that in your bulletin. So we need you to shout out whatever sound it is. We're asking you to be a little silly this morning, and that's okay. We invite you into this space of joy and silliness to hear this incredible story. So we also have some youth, some confirmands who are helping us out as stage managers. You saw some of them with our music stands. Some will help make sure everyone gets up to the front. We have extra crowns and halos. We've got everything that we need, okay? We've got some hymns that we'll ask you all to sing with. We have a small pageant choir that will be singing some songs for us as well with the help of Stephanie. So, friends, if you're ready, let's tell this incredible Christmas story together. Turn the page.
We began our story at the home of Elizabeth, one of Mary's family members. Elizabeth was going to have a baby, and when she got the news, she couldn't believe it. She knew her baby would be a gift from God.
One day, Elizabeth opened her door to find Mary. Mary was also going to have a baby. Suddenly, Elizabeth felt her baby leap for joy at the sound of Mary's voice. So everyone, when you hear us say Elizabeth, you all say leap for joy. Let's practice. Elizabeth. Leap for joy. Great.
Elizabeth welcomed Mary into her home, and Mary told her about the angel Gabriel who had visited her. She told Elizabeth that her baby would be the Son of God.
Mary stayed there for several months in a place of safety and sanctuary.
Meanwhile, in the little town of Bethlehem, people were amazed to see a bright star hanging out in the sky. They could not believe how bright it was and wondered where it came from.
Do we have any stars here today? Can you all come up? Look at these bright stars. Everyone, we need your help again. Whenever we say star, you say, it's so bright. Let's try it. Look at the star. It's so bright. Great job.
One evening in Bethlehem, some villagers were heading home for the night. They were tired and exhausted, but they stopped in the middle of the street and looked up at the sky.
One of the villagers said, "You know, I'm getting kind of annoyed with this whole star thing. I mean, where did it come from anyway?"
Another villager said, "I know what you mean. I can't get away from it. That star keeps me awake at night."
The villagers wondered how such a star could just appear out of nowhere.
Some thought it could be a sign, a signal that something very, very good or very, very bad is going to happen. Because, it's a star.
Others thought it meant that many people would come to Bethlehem to see and learn about the star. But no one quite knew exactly what was about to happen in this little town.
All right, thank you to our stars. You can head back to your seats. And we're going to sing a hymn together.
While the folks in Bethlehem were gazing up at this bright star, there were two people who had just arrived in town, Joseph and Mary. They had to go to Bethlehem, where Joseph was from, because of the census. Even though Mary was very, very close to having her baby, they traveled a long way.
But in Bethlehem, they found that all the inns and hotels and even the Airbnbs were full. Finally, one innkeeper told them they could stay with the animals. We have some animals here today. Can you come and join us?
Okay, everyone. We need some help to imagine what all these animals sounded like together. If you'd like to be a sheep, you'll say ba. What about our cows? Our cows will say mrrr. And our horses, the horses will say neigh. So let's try that out. Where are our sheep? And our cows? And our horses?
Excellent. So Mary and Joseph had a place to stay with these animals. But of course, Mary and Joseph couldn't understand them. So every time we say, "But all Mary and Joseph heard was," you make your animal noise. Let's practice. So we'll say something like, "The animals just kept talking and talking to each other, but all Mary and Joseph heard was..." Great.
So some cows, sheep, and horses were hanging out late one night when all of a sudden the door opens. A man and a woman and their donkey come inside and start making themselves at home.
One of the cows said, "Moo, who let them in here? They don't belong here."
One of the sheep said, "Bah, yeah, they should be in their home with all the other human types."
And one of the horses said, "Nay, I mean, what were they thinking?"
But all Mary and Joseph heard was,
The cow said, "You'd think they'd just stay home at a time like this."
and the sheep said, "Yeah, or plan ahead a little so they had a place waiting for them."
And the horse said, maybe he saved up some money ahead of time too.
But all Mary and Joseph heard was,
Again, the cow said, "It's just bad planning on their part."
and the sheep replied, "Yep, typical human type mistake."
The horse said, "I wish they'd just go back to where they belong."
But all Mary and Joseph heard was,
Finally, the tired old donkey lifted his head and looked at all the animals and said, "Yeah, why don't you try it? You try riding 90 miles on the back of a donkey like me. When you're about to have a baby. You try being the expectant dad, worried about the woman you love and the child she carries. You try being me, watching every step I take so I don't jostle the woman who's trying to get here safely. You try it."
The other animals were so surprised they felt so bad, they said,
The cows could offer some milk,
and the sheep can share some warm wool.
and the horses can take them wherever they need to go.
But all Mary and Joseph heard was,
All right, great job for all our animals. You can go back to your seats. Thank you.
For this next scene, we need everyone to play a very important role. In fact, we need everyone, the whole congregation, to be the baby Jesus. Now, the first sound most babies make is a really loud cry, but not this baby. Nope, this baby is born and looks around as he sees his mom and dad for the first time.
Then he looks over their heads and sees a cow with big brown eyes, and a horse with a really long nose, and a donkey with big tall ears, and sitting underneath the donkey is a sheep. And the first sound out of the baby Jesus isn't a cry, it's a big laugh.
So every time you hear us say, "What's that noise?" you're all going to laugh. Let's practice. Gee, I was just sleeping nice and quiet, and suddenly I heard something. What's that noise? Excellent.
Do we have any innkeepers here today? You can come up here and join us.
Anyone want to be an innkeeper?
So the innkeeper who told Mary and Joseph that they'd have to sleep with the animals is tossing and turning in her bed.
The innkeeper says, "I don't know what it is, but I just can't sleep tonight. For one thing, those animals are making so much noise. But just when I finally got to sleep, I thought I heard something. Now, what was that noise?" There it is again.
So the innkeeper woke up her partner who could sleep through just about anything.
"Did you hear something?" "I'm sure I heard something. What was that noise?"
But the innkeeper partner just rolled over and went back to sleep. So the innkeeper went outside to see what she could find, but the streets were empty and silent. Still, she knew there was something out there, and she wondered aloud.
What was that noise? There it is again. It sounds like it's coming from where the animals are. I'll go check it out.
So the innkeeper walked to where the animals were, and there were Mary and Joseph staying with the animals. And the innkeeper said to them,
I'm sorry I made you sleep here, and I'm sorry that I'm barging in on you like this, but I just have to know. What was that noise? Oh my gosh, it's your baby?
And the innkeeper realized that it was the newborn baby who had been laughing all along. And suddenly the innkeeper was full of love for this vulnerable child and full of hope too. And the innkeeper said to Mary and Joseph,
I'm going to go and tell everyone that you have the most wonderful baby with the most wonderful laugh there ever was.
And the innkeeper ran out onto the streets of Bethlehem to tell everyone the good news.
All righty. Thank you, narrators. Our pageant choir is going to lead us in a song.
Some ways away, shepherds are out in the fields, watching over their sheep. They're in for a big surprise because there's a whole host of angels heading their way. So we need our angels here today to come on up, and our shepherds, and our sheep.
Now, sometimes angels talk to us and we don't even know it. So every time you hear us say, then the angel said, you're all going to say, hark, let's practice. We'll say something like, the shepherds didn't know what to do, so they said to the angels, hey, what should we do? And the angel said, excellent.
The shepherds are out watching their sheep. Some of them are fast asleep, but one is staring up at that bright star in the sky. Then the shepherd who's awake starts to notice that there are some new stars shining alongside that bright star.
Then there are lots of new stars. Then the stars start getting bigger and bigger. And the shepherds realize they aren't stars, but they are angels flying towards them, getting closer and closer. And the shepherd wakes up the other shepherd and points to the sky. All the shepherds fall to their knees and look at the whole host of angels hovering in the air. And the angels said,
But the shepherds couldn't understand them. They were getting so frustrated until one of the shepherds said,
They say we have to go to Bethlehem.
All of the shepherds turned to look, and one said, Wait, you speak angel? Why didn't you tell us?
The first shepherd said, It's just something I picked up.
And the angel said, The shepherd turned to their interpreter and said, What'd they say this time? What's the deal?
The shepherd said, well, loosely translated, it's something like, do not be afraid, for see, I bring you good news of great joy for all people. To you is born this day in the city of David the Savior, who is the Messiah, the Lord. This will be a sign for you. You will find a child wrapped in bands of cloth lying in a manger.
One of the shepherds said, They said all of that? Very efficient language.
And again, the angel said,
One of the shepherds said, Wait, there's more?
The interpreter said, Yes, they say glory to the God in the highest heaven, and on earth peace, goodwill among people. Come on, let's go to Bethlehem and see what it's all about.
So the shepherds went with haste and found Mary and Joseph and the child lying in the manger. And the angel smiled down upon them and said,
All right, thank you, sheep and shepherds and angels. You can head back. All right, and our pageant choir is going to lead us in another song. Pageant choir, come on up.
Angels we have heard on high, sweet Sometime later, after Jesus was born, wise ones from the east saw the star and came to Jerusalem.
We have some wise ones here today. Can you come up and join us in the front? We need everyone's help again. Whenever we say wise ones, everyone will say, we come to see. Let's practice. Wise ones. We come to see. Great.
The wise ones were people who studied the stars and knew that they were looking for a newborn king.
They asked King Herod about the child, and he was concerned about the new king who might try to take his power.
King Herod told the wise ones to find the baby and honor him, but really he wanted to know where the baby was so that no one could try to take his power.
The wise ones followed the star to Bethlehem and found Jesus with Mary and Joseph.
When they found Jesus, they fell to their knees and gave him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh, which were gifts people usually gave to kings.
When the wise ones left Bethlehem, they returned home another way, because they were warned in a dream that Herod wanted to hurt the baby.
All right, thank you, wise ones. We are going...
This is 254 in your hymnal. We three kings of Orient are, bearing gifts we traverse afar, field and fountain, moor and mountain, following yonder star. Oh, star of wonder, star of light, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light.
This is the story of the incredible birth of Jesus.
We celebrate God sharing God's love with the world, and we remember all those who were part of the story who offered sanctuary as Jesus came into the world.
Let's see if we can remember all of our special cues. We remember the wise ones who traveled far and protected Jesus.
We remember the shepherds who shared the good news and the angels who offered messages of joy.
We remember Mary and Joseph who offered sanctuary and love to Jesus as he came into the world, the animals who shared their home with Jesus, even though all Mary and Joseph heard was.
We remember Elizabeth, who gave Mary shelter as the expecting mother of God.
And this story lives on with us as we work to share God's love with the world.
Thank you all for helping us tell a story of Christmas.
And thank you to our narrators. Our pageant choir is going to send us out with one last song. Oh.
Children, go where I send you. How shall I send you? I'm the send you from my right one.
Joseph, and one for the little baby that was born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send you. How shall I send you? I'm going to send you 5 by 5, 5 for the animals, and 4 for the angels. Singing! 3 for the children, riding, and 2 for Marianne, Joseph, and 1 for the little baby that's born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send you. How shall I send you? I'm going to send you 6 by 6, 6 for the shepherds, kneeling, 5 for the animals, rising, and 4 for the angels, singing, 3 for the king's hand, riding, 2 for Marianne, Joseph, and 1 for